Hello everyone, Andy Schwab here with your Northern Ag TV. The USDA released the details to their Farmer Bridge Assistance Program ahead of the new year. The $12 billion ad hoc program is designed to help producers temporarily weather the trade market disruptions and the increased production costs. Some of the per acre payments include wheat producers receiving just over $39 an acre, corn producers at $44 an acre, and barley at $20.51 an acre. Speaking with National Barley Growers Association President Mitch Konen, he said they appreciate the Trump administration's inclusion of barley in the program.
They're going off the cost of production numbers that WSDA comes out with in supposedly their December 2025 WSDA report numbers. They're looking at the revenue that was made, yields, and the price, which is all comes off them WSDA numbers. So we felt fortunate enough that the $20.51 again. So at least we're still being recognized.
Now, unfortunately, the WSDA figures are rear-facing, and it makes it hard for producers to become whole again as there are significant delays in the current prices versus the production time.
That price was actually set in 2023 because that's when the contracts came out. And that was before we even produced the 24 crop. Then we produce that 24 crop and then we sit on it for another 6 months usually. So then it doesn't get delivered until 2025. We have a 12 to an 18-month delay in that price realization, which was established almost 2 years ago.
Some of the other issues that barley producers are facing are low commodity prices and the high inputs such as fuel and fertilizer, all while being a price taker instead of a price maker.
Number one is definitely the input prices that we have to pay to grow these crops, whether it's, seed's usually pretty stable right now, but the fertilizer and the chemicals have really jumped up, and the fuel. And we're seeing lower fuel prices at the pumps, but out here on the farm, getting it delivered to the farm and whatnot, I'm still paying over almost $3.50 a gallon for fuel. And then fertilizer and everything else, whether it's a result of the tariffs or just exactly what it is, a farmer's price taker all the time, no matter what it is, on both ends of the equation. They can come in there with the prices that they want, and we really have no other alternatives. So it's always been a losing battle for us, it seems.
Now, the National Barley Growers Associations also focus on continued education for policymakers in Washington, D.C. Konen says that some of that education is key to making sure lawmakers understand the price drag between the malt and feed barley, since there's not a futures contract to help establish current prices on a daily basis.
A lot of times it goes direct into a feed market, and it is not accounted for. It doesn't go through an elevator, which does the reporting for WSDA. So them bushels are not accounted for. So that would be the price drag would be on them feed barley prices, which doesn't get averaged into the price. So therefore, that price is basically a malt price. So we need to do a little more education, I think, a little more visit with folks back in D.C. on these programs and see if we can come to some kind of a consideration for delay in our prices that we're seeing on contracted barley, because that's what it's based off of, is direct contracted pre-priced barley. It's not like wheat and corn and beans and everything else that has a futures market that they can go by. It's all based right down here at the farm level.
Konen also says the general public can help out by simply enjoying more beer responsibly to help drive up the demand that seems to have shifted towards seltzers.
I think it's just a fad. I think it'll cycle back around. People's tastes are different, and we got different age groups and whatnot that are going through these cycles. And we've seen it before. It'll come back, and it'll just cycle through, and we just have to wade through it.
As you can imagine, other commodity groups also put out their comments on the FBA program, and the National Association of Wheat Growers said that they also appreciate the Trump administration's response to the market challenges facing the farm families, but noted that the rates announced do not come close to making wheat farmers whole for the per acre losses experienced in 2025. Well, that's going to do it for today's Ag TV. I'm Andy Schwab. Have a great rest of your day.